is Nerd Radio.
It's cool. I'm taking it back.
What are you, nuts?
I'm taking it back. You watch.
All over your social media at Nerd Radio 101. And that's where you can find us online, nerdradio101.com. That's where you can get your podcast, as well as wherever you listen to your podcast as part of the BPod Studios network. Chuck Bean, Al, Beck, and James, all in for another week of Nerd Radio here. And I've been watching a lot of streaming the last week or so. I realized that I'm in the middle of, much like the way I game, how I'm always in the middle of like a game on 4 systems at one time.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm in the middle of watching Seinfeld still.
Wow.
I'm still that's last year's New Year's resolution, and I still haven't gotten through it.
I like Revolution better.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
It was my New Year's revolution
Right.
to watch Seinfeld.
I found on that Tubi app that they've got all the old G.I. Joe and Transformers cartoons.
Oh, that's cool.
And I never watched Beast Wars when that came out. That was where Optimus turned into a monkey.
Yeah, I never watched I never really watched a ton of Transformers, to be honest. But
Right.
Transformer is cool.
Yeah,
but Beast Wars
it can
came
be.
up when I think I was going into junior high, maybe.
Right, because it's all
End of
CG, but
elementary into
it's
junior high.
real early CG. Like it looks like PlayStation 1 CG.
That's funny.
As
It's
an-
funny watching those little cartoons. This is like a reboot cartoon that's got like
Yep.
that old technology. Like, whoa,
Yeah,
that was entertainment.
but I realized I'd never watched Beast Wars, and like that's the theme of the next Netflix series and the figures that are coming out this year. So I'm like, maybe I should see if I like it.
Educate yourself on it.
Yeah, maybe I like it. But yeah, I was watching those and obviously watching WandaVision and stuff. But there's gonna be even more. Oh, that was what else? I'm 2 episodes away from the end of Lower Decks.
Oh, okay.
I went through that. The show is so charming.
It
It's like
is.
somebody made a Star Trek show for James.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
'Cause
Now I feel
it's-
bad because I'm ignoring it.
Yeah, no, it's very Rick and Morty,
Okay.
and it's the humor is very irreverent, but at the same time, like it feels like a Star Trek show. The plots feel like you could pull them right out of any Next Generation episode.
Yeah. And there is, I've sat here and nerd ranted about some of the stuff that's come up in Discovery that was kind of like
Yeah.
And even though Lower Decks has some of that in it, it's supposed to be because it's kind of the charm of the show. I was not crazy about it after a couple episodes, but then I like went back and watched them all like back to back to back.
Yeah.
And I had fun with it. It's not. I think I said it at the time. I didn't feel like I need it. Still don't feel like I need it.
Right.
But I'm okay that it's there.
I feel like it's a good entry point for someone who's like, Star Trek is too high concept,
Yeah.
big science. There's nothing. There's not enough action. It's not my Star Wars.
Yeah.
So I'm like that. Well, this is funny.
Yeah.
So at least you got the funny.
And I
cover.
like the cameos.
Yeah.
Because the actors who played some of the characters, like John Delancey, showed up as Q. You get Riker and Troy, and it's kind of them having a sense of humor about their role,
Yeah.
So there's that aspect of it, and I will say it is a far superior attempt to do animated Star Trek than in the 70s, because that animated series was rough.
That's what I think we expected when we heard there was going to be like an animated Star Trek comedy, is they were just going to C-Lab the original series.
Yeah, because I probably would have tuned in for that, to be honest, over the current version of it.
But CBS All Access, as of this week, is changing over to Paramount Plus, which means they're going to have more content all around, as far as, because the CBS All Access didn't have it started having movies, and then they didn't have any movies, and now they're going to have more movies as well as TV shows, and they're licensing a whole bunch of stuff, much like Netflix does, to get on top of one of which is a Halo TV series based on the Xbox games.
That's cool.
That's going to be part of Paramount Plus. They're doing a Dungeons and Dragons show that I saw that what is it? I'll have to look it up.
I'm not sure.
I mean, both shows sound
Hugh Grant.
interesting. I would check out.
Hugh Grant is going to be the villain in the Star Trek show. They're also doing a new Beavis and Butthead movie. A Quiet Place 2 is supposed to be a part of the Rugrats reboot and a Frasier revival.
See, Rugrats is, but none of some of these things seem appealing to me, but not enough for me to sign up.
Yeah, to kind
this
of
point.
like another streaming service.
Yeah, like, oh, now I got Paramount Plus on top of HBO Max.
Well, I was
on
really
Netflix.
interested in when they started unveiling some of the things that were coming to Paramount Plus, because they've got my money for Star Trek.
Yeah.
I've already got CBS All Access, and I like, even though Discovery has really upset me at times, I love Star Trek. I can't miss the new episodes, so I'll have it. And I was like, well, hopefully Paramount Plus gives me more stuff. Like, I was happy when the new Twilight Zone I thought was good.
Oh yeah,
because
so
it gave
good.
me something else to watch other than Star Trek, and all the announcements of Paramount Plus. I'm like,
Yeah.
Come on, Al, a new Beavis and Butthead movie.
don't care.
They did America. Who's next?
Oh, they're reuniting the Real World cast from the first season of that.
Yeah, can't wait
for
to
a
see that.
special
Awesome. Yeah, and like out of the stuff that you mentioned already, like I liked Frasier. I really like Frasier. I don't care about a reboot.
You don't want more Frasier?
No, I really don't. I really don't.
You need some more tossed salad and scrambled
eggs,
though.
yeah.
Well, I'm all about the tossed salad. As we all
Scrambled eggs a little less, but
There was a confession I wasn't.
But it's like, I mean, I'm glad David I. Pierce has a job again, I guess.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, he hasn't done much since
John
Frasier
Mahoney's
did.
already dead. The dog's already dead.
Aw.
So, you know.
This turned into a Death Watch.
It did.
They're also doing a Star Trek kids show called Star Trek Prodigy that's going to be a part of it.
Now,
So
is this a show for kids to get into Star Trek, or is this a show about kids in outer space?
it is a Nickelodeon-produced Star Trek show.
Okay.
So it's for kids, and it's going to have like a whole bunch of aliens in it. It looks like one of the main aliens looks like the alien from the last movie they did. Was that Into Beyond or Beyond whatever?
Beyond or Into Dark. I think Beyond was the latest one.
Yeah.
The other one was Into Darkness.
So yeah, that's the thing that's switching over. And if you're looking at your streaming money and you're like, man, I can't afford another streaming service, well, they're looking to help you out because this week before it changes over to Paramount Plus, they're actually offering 50% off on the annual price. If you sign up, which I think is like
for a whole year.
I think it's like $100 annually. So you can sign up for, I would imagine, $50 if it's 50% off for the year to try it out. It's interesting that, like with HBO grabbed Cartoon Network and a couple of other things and then smashed them all together. And now you're seeing it with this Paramount where like, let's get Comedy Central and let's get Nickelodeon and let's put them all in one service.
We talked about this too with Peacock and WWE where they're starting to combine.
That happens in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I think the next pay-per-view Fastlane is the first one that will be on the Peacock Network.
Yep.
There has to be more of that because everyone cannot have their own thing and expect, I mean, I have too many already. And so far the best value is Prime Video, and yet I don't watch anything on there except for The Boys.
Right.
But at least like that comes along with the 2-day shipping and all the other stuff that comes with the Amazon Prime. Subscription. That's the best bang for your buck. But
what else do you watch on that besides The Boys?
That's about all I watch on there. So I mean, like, and that's the other.
I don't even know what else is on there other than The Boys. And I
Yeah.
think we were talking maybe possibly the Coming to America 2 movie.
That's this month.
Okay.
Yep, the
Yeah.
second Coming to America movie is this month.
But-
And Robert Kirkman's Invincible cartoon comes to Amazon Prime this month.
Oh, that's the superhero comic guy who looks like kind of Superman-ish, but he's got like he's almost dressed like Jean Grey, but he's a dude.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Robert Kirkman. It was the superhero comic he's working on at the same time he's working on The Walking Dead over at Image Comics. And it's supposed to be...
Invincible's been around for a while, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
He just
I'm talking
finished,
like years. Like this was out.
He
when
just
Gears
finished
of War
it.
1 was a game.
He just finished it last year, I think.
Okay.
And
He had a hell of a run with that. Wow.
It's supposed to be like the main character is supposed to be the son of essentially Superman.
Okay.
So he can't really live up to his dad's potential, but at the same time, it's supposed to be very Watchmen-like. Like there's stuff going on in the background, some kind of conspiracy. But yeah, that's coming to Amazon Prime Video this month. I don't know where I was going with that.
Yeah, well, we are gonna have to see more combinations and stuff.
I
and
do
packages, because
I do like that it's coming down to like, hey, if I want to watch Comedy Central and Nickelodeon stuff, you get CBS All Access. If I want to watch Cartoon Network stuff, I'll get HBO. If I want to watch WWE, I have I like that it's condensing, but I also feel like the more they condense it, the
more things you're going to need to buy.
The faster it's going to turn into, well, we used to
Cable.
charge you $6, now we charge you $8. Oh, we used to charge you $8, well, now we're going to have to charge you $10.
Well, already seeing that with Netflix.
Yeah.
Oh, every year it goes up.
Yeah. Well, we just gave Dave Chappelle $1 billion, so you're gonna need to pay.
So we're gonna have to give you're gonna have to give us a little more money.
See, I feel like it's going to make me go crawling back to the cable providers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
that's kind of like the
one or two more I'm going to add to it, and I'm not saving a single cent.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah.
Well, like I mean, I have my cable essentially is through Hulu, So it's like you can watch the channels that they carry. You can watch the on-demand stuff. So it's like you kind of get. But the thing is, and like you've got Sling, they don't necessarily have the lineup that the cable company does.
Right.
And it is getting to a point where, cable, so many people cut the cord that cable's starting to lower their prices. So they're like, hey, come on back. It's cheaper over here and we'll give you more.
And I like that a lot of the services too have realized that we're all kind of trading logins and have made it so that like, okay, you get 3 or 4 different accounts on your for your subscription.
Yeah.
Like I noticed when I logged into CBS All Access, like you've got one for Steve Black and you've got one for me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's nice. Thanks.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that I'm getting more use out of it.
Right.
And I think we're all there for the Star Trek.
It's true. Until they put Night Court on there. Then I'm going to be watching
Oh, there
Night
you
Court,
go.
the Night Court reruns. All right, I've got one more story from the streaming service. It's just a real quick thing that I saw last week. I think you actually had sent this to me, Al, but The Muppet Show has a content warning now on Disney Plus for some of the shows that may be a little bit negative depictions or mistreatments of people or cultures. So, some stereotypes that were...
It's probably what it is. It's probably an Asian-esque character with the voice, that type of stuff, which, back at the time when they made this... It wasn't, frowned upon. So now you kind of have to give a warning. People are making a big deal. It's the Muppets. But at the time, I think the Muppets was on HBO. It wasn't like unless it was on network. Maybe it was on network.
Yeah, I think they were on NBC for a while.
Okay, because I thought it was later at night. It was Muppets. It was entertainment geared towards adults.
Yeah.
But it's because they're puppets. Kids
gravitated
naturally
toward them.
gravitate towards it. So I understand why they're putting the warning on there. I think everybody just getting so butthurt, like, oh my god, they think the guys up the old guys in the audience that are always clowning on the show.
Yeah.
They're too offensive.
Statler and
They're
Waldorf.
too soft. Yeah, I don't know any of their names. Yeah, those guys, the
Statler and
hecklers
Waldorf.
or whatever. But
Add that to your Nicolas Cage impression.
You like my
Add-
Statler and Waldorf
yeah,
laugh?
Yeah.
No, I dig it.
Yeah.
It's might be my favorite Muppets.
Yeah.
I think we've talked about this back when they did this with the Looney Tunes as well, when they started putting disclaimers on the front of those, or even some of the old Disney cartoons. But I prefer it, like, instead of completely erasing it,
Yeah.
like, just put a
I agree with
disclaimer
that.
being like, look, when this came out, it wasn't.
it was more accepted.
We knew it was wrong, but we didn't understand like how negatively it would affect people to see this. So look, you're watch this with the hindsight of like, stuff was really racist in the 50s, okay?
Yeah. I know. It's a tough thing. I do understand the issue that people take with it, but you should still have the choice to
I agree.
to absorb the content.
The other side of that we talked about a couple months ago, the fact that there are episodes of Aqua Teen Hunger Force that are just not on HBO Plus.
Oh, really?
Because Shake's in blackface.
Oh,
And it's just not cool at all.
What if I have those on DVD?
And probably.
I mean, I don't even remember those episodes, but I mean, even Family Guy. I think Al and I were talking earlier today about Family Guy. Some of the stuff they put in there, and I'm like, Al was telling me what the actual scene was referencing, which I didn't realize it was referencing something. I just know it was they used the term. They called somebody N-bomb Jim or whatever.
Yeah. That's about the
Yeah.
Huck Finn thing or whatever.
Yeah, I was like,
fascinating to think that Family Guy's been around long enough that there are jokes in Family Guy that are just like, ooh.
Family Guy and American Dad. Sometimes there's things when we watch those shows a lot on reruns because they're on pretty much every channel on reruns constantly. But there's times where there's stuff that pops up and I'm like,
yeah,
thank God that was I'm home alone right now.
That's
I
not cool.
I'd be scared if certain people from work were over and that came on.
Right.
Well, I brought this into show Chuck the Freak years ago, but I've got a DVD of a Batman serial from the 40s. You know, back when you used to go to the theater every week to watch the 30-minute episode.
Right.
And I'm not even going to say what it was, but there was something extremely racist against the Japanese.
Yeah,
in
not
a
surprising.
Batman serial, but it was during the war.
That's the thing. During it doesn't make it all right.
It doesn't make it all right. Like we can't
understand that. It was like, oh well, we're gonna paint the enemy as propaganda as negatively as possible.
Yeah, and even The Office, I can think of an example where in The Office they say a word that you would not say.
Oh yeah, when he's doing the Chris Rock thing.
Oh, well, that's bleeped out. No, it's
Okay.
the one, and I'll just say what the episode is, and people can figure it out on their own what word he says. But it's the one where he inadvertently outs Oscar to the office, and he called him something in jest, and it was a derogatory term.
Yep.
And but like, even the point they were trying to make on the show, like broadcasting that word on the air,
Right.
was
That episode made me uncomfortable too.
crazy.
Yeah, just watching that, I was like,
Well,
this was on network TV.
well, I'm glad you weren't saying that Asian Jim was a bad thing, because Asian Jim's hilarious. Asian Jim is in WandaVision.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a short break, and we're going to come back with some video game news. A bunch of Final Fantasy games were announced last week, and a game that we've got an article on WRIF.com about. I downloaded and am super psyched about telling you guys
Can't
about.
wait to hear about these Final Fantasy games I'm going to buy and never play.
And never play.
Yeah.
It's coming up on Nerd Radio.